stitches, and he would literally throw a temper tantrum rolling around on the floor. Yeah.
Really?
So he was just like, you know, so, and I was there a lot because at the time I was just kind of going from place to place just because I was ready to settle down. It was causing a lot of issues for me, so it was not really safe for me to, you know, once in a while when he would get really drunk or really high and just really chaotic.
So he would do all those things?
My ex-husband, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Was it because was it a kind of bipolar kind of person?
He's schizoaffective, bipolar. Yeah.
Schizoaffective. Ouch. That's a kind of hard.
Yeah,
on top of it.
Settled in when he was probably in his early 20s, and then it just really, and then he decided methamphetamines were a great way to get work done, and that just declined. And then I've always been one that my parents were drug addicts and just irresponsible people, so I never wanted to be that person. You know, it just did never appeal to me ever. But
when you say drug addicts, did they use just marijuana or like other drugs?
Back in the 70s, they had these salad parties. And everybody would just bring pills and just dump them in a bowl, and they'd stir it up and grab a handful.
Wow.
So, and of course,
and you grew up in that environment.
Yeah. So,
ouch.
And little kids, you don't know. You just know.
Yeah, I know.
Always say, this is
just
for grown-ups,
you
not
know,
for you. You know, they'd give us candy cigarettes while they smoked their weeds. We'd eat our candy cigarettes. And, you know, they included us. Taught us how to play poker. You know, we were victimized by, well, I wasn't, because I'm wired different. My sister was terribly victimized.
But tell me, how did you get out of it yourself so you can, like, you know, make your own way on top of, you know, your personal issues, you know, because being exposed to drugs, that's not kind of interesting thing for a young child. Wow, because I know at the children's place we work with children who've been exposed to drugs, who've been abused or neglected, and it breaks my heart to see some, you know, how they're trying to get out of it, you know, doing the self-regulation and stuff like that. So
for me, it was from a very young age. Okay, I've never really understood people. Like, I mean, I understand people, like, from books and whatnot, but at a very young age, probably 2 or 3 years old, when somebody would cry, I tried to figure it out. I didn't get emotion. When I see somebody cry, I didn't go, oh, I feel so sorry for them. I go, oh, I wonder why they're crying. So I was always wired different. My mother would start screaming and ranting and raving and raging and yelling, and I would just, I don't understand.
Yeah, why you are...
You know, I didn't get scared. You know, she would lose it, and I would always just try to make sense of it. And then I realized it didn't make sense. By the time I was probably 5, I realized it didn't make sense. You know, and then my teacher was also very unstable. She had absolutely no patience, and then she went from kindergarten. I had her up till 3rd grade.
Ouch.
And she didn't like me because my mother was an unstable. She would scream at her when the teacher would call her, say, you know, she hasn't brushed her hair and she needs a bath and she's wearing the same clothes and we need to do something about that. My mother would come just come unglued. And so the teacher just was like, yeah, you're a lost cause. Because
so there was no social services back then in the school?
It was a very, well, no, not really. No, not really.
You're in a small town?
Not in the 70s and early 80s.
Oh, that's true.
There wasn't a whole lot.
It's nowadays that it's more of a...
And it was a very small town, Mount Pleasant, Utah, central Utah. It's still very small, less than 300 people in it.
So you grew up in Utah?
Yeah. And then...
But you're not a Latter-day Saint of whatever religion, you know?
No.
No, okay.
No, I'm an atheist.
Oh, okay.
I completely respect religions. I know too much to not know that there's something there. I understand that there is a spiritual center in the human brain. I love to learn. I didn't get along with people because I didn't understand people. I didn't understand emotions, so I read. I read books.
But you use the word spirituality, so I'm wondering if you're not more of an agnostic instead of an atheist? Because it
Because,
seems
well,
like
an
you believe
agnostic.
there is a higher power somehow.
Well, and not really. No.
Oh, you don't believe that?
No.
Okay.
I don't believe that there's any type of magic after I die. I don't believe that there's some ultimate goal for my life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. It's, I understand what religion is and how it fits people and how it helps people be good. People that lack a moral compass. People who are more like me. I don't fight against religion. I don't disagree with you because you have that. That's yours. I envy it a little bit because you do have it. I don't. But that doesn't make me any less, and it doesn't mean I'm lacking. And I think it's hilarious when people tell me I'm going to go to hell. I'm like, well, if hell doesn't exist to me, it doesn't really scare me.
And that's why I personally make a difference between religion and spirituality.
I'm very spiritual
You know,
when it comes
although-
to my existence here now. There is no second chance. There is no, I'm not going somewhere special if I'm good. I gotta be good right now because this is my one. And this is one thing about people who are like, who've educated themselves beyond religion. They are still spiritual people. You're spiritual in the point, to the point where you get it. You get it. And you don't have to have a man in the clouds watching your every move to manage the way you interact and the legacy that you leave for others. You know, and you get this kind of thing. It's like, I'm not afraid of death. Death doesn't scare me. I'm not preparing for death. I'm living. And I'm living for right now, and I'm living for who I am and who's around me. And, you know, I people like thou shalt not kill because the contaminant. No, you don't kill because that's not what you're made out of. Because hell is in here. You know, heaven's
honestly,
in here.
you know, I'm smiling inside because although I was raised in a religious, household, but I came to be more spiritual than religious in that sense in the sense that I realized for me that, whatever name you give to the higher power, it's inside you.
Yes.
And it governs whatever, thoughts and actions you are making. And what people don't realize is like because I'm an educator, I'm looking at it from that perspective. I think the higher power, I call it God, but I use another word that I call Adonai, which is like, my father in Hebrew. And, for me, it's like, okay, because we are human beings and we like to see and touch and do things like that.
And we have to
He
have
gave
meaning.
us, those, bullet points in the Bible that we call the Bible, or the people call the Quran or whatever, in order for us to have a path to help us. But that doesn't mean that our lives is determined by that. But it's like, this paper that we're doing. So we have the blueprint.
There's the blueprints.
Yeah, we have the blueprints, but we decide how we're going to, make it work out and present it and stuff like that based on our, personal insight. That's how I see it.
Yeah, it's how.
But people would take the Bible, the Quran, or whatever to the letter of the law. Those are the people I think who are in trouble because that wasn't the intent.
Exactly.
And I also believe, I'm going to make you maybe go how. I believe that we're not by ourselves in the universe. I believe there are other beings out there. And I believe that the higher power is dealing with those other beings in a different way because they're wired differently. So religion in for us, people say, oh, you have to believe in the Holy Spirit, the Jesus the Son, and then the Father.
Yeah, the Father.
The Trinity.
Yeah,
but I say,
Trinity.
but listen, I see it in a different way. I see the way, like, because I like to have that conversation with the higher power, and of course it's a conversation with with what's inside me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I want to talk to someone that I would perceive as a father, or I would perceive as a mother, or I would perceive as a sister, or I would perceive as a friend. So depending of what I need at that moment, I address that higher power that way. So as a human being, it gives us two possibilities. But, or he or she.
Yeah.
But if I was living, let's say, in a galaxy 21 on planet, XYZ, I don't know how they relate to that higher power. because they're different. They're wired differently.
And it depends on if they have that
Exactly.
spiritual.
So maybe
piece
it's
of
only
them.
one, maybe it's 4, it's 5, it's 10,000. I don't know.
Maybe it's their ruler.
Exactly.
Maybe it's a rock.
I don't know. So we are more, just to tell you that, we are more connected in those thoughts than you could think. That's why, when people say they're atheists, I kind of smile because I say, I understand what you're trying to say in terms of organized religion, but I think the people who call themselves atheists, they are the most spiritual people. And I can tell. I can tell.
Yeah. But then there's also the people, because Gnosticism is a pagan religion from way back when that is more attuned to the earth. And that's where Halloween comes from, and Easter and all that stuff is from those pagan religions. They're not Jesus. That's why Halloween never got adopted. Or by that, but this is solstice celebrations because those marked the changing of the seasons, and so now they're Christian holidays that were recently adopted in the past 100 years. And so I just
and honestly, I don't really
book.
like when they say Christian holidays. I rather when they say Catholic holidays, because this is another problem too.
Or even pagan holidays.
Because you see, there are certain things that are being observed, like Easter, Christmas, or whatever. Not all Christian religions agree with them. So those, like Catholicism, of course, some Protestant, branches will do. But the branch I belong to, the Seventh-day Adventists, what I call like the Jewish people with Jesus, we don't do it. So in a way, I'm kind of uneasy, when they say Christian,
well,
because
if you look back for the origination of the holidays, like Easter was a celebration of fertility.
In the pagan religion.
Way back when, even when there wasn't even religions.
And Christmas was the celebration of God the Son in the Roman Empire. So that's what I'm saying. Most of those things have a pagan origin.
This is the shortest day of the year, and we're on the upswing also. And the gifting and the sharing was to help your neighbors survive, because we're social beings and we need our neighbors to survive. So we would gift our excess to our neighbors. Whatever we could share, we'd gift. Whatever we could make, we'd gift. And we just gifted. And that's just carried over to this whole capitalist commercial mess that we have now. All right, we need to get to work. We're having a good time.
So no problem. So you want to start?
All right, so appearance. Possible gait, posture, clothing, grooming. Hurried. I'm going to give you hurried. Behavior.
For you, I would say composed. Yeah.
Eye contact, engaged. I would have to look at those words. There's
Where are
words,
you
really
now?
words.
You're looking at the behavior?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just giving words because I'm going to write a paper that's not. I can write decent fiction.
Yeah, me too.
I just need to get the freaking paper done.
Yeah.
I have 3 other. Dr. Dyer gave me back my practice paper and said, I don't like sections 4 through 9. Can you rewrite those?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't get my paper yet because last Monday I wasn't there.
Right.
And I don't know, if he's going to tell me to rewrite anything. He gave me 115. I don't know over what. Is it over 150 or is it 200? I don't know.
Mine's
They have
24. I don't even know.
24? Over what?
I don't know.
That's the problem.
Well, no, it's 24 total. And I don't. He didn't answer it because he gave me a chance to rewrite it.
Okay.
But my total score on the. You'll see yours.
Yeah,
I'm not going to give it away.
Okay.
But he told me to rewrite it. I
Okay.
don't like these sections. You can't write your next paper, which is due in 10 days. And then the program evaluation paper, because I'm in program evaluation, I gave it to him to review. He hasn't gotten back to me.
What program evaluation? I thought Dr. Bertram was the one doing, Dr.
If
Bertram's
Mr.
husband.
Bertram,
Yeah,
yes.
Mr. Bertram is the one doing program evaluation for you, right? So you gave paper 1 to him.
He gave us a week extension because people were complaining. And I went ahead and gave him my paper
Okay.
because I have to rewrite my practice
Yes,
1
yes,
paper
yes.
and get my practice 2
Two
paper
paper ready.
written. I still haven't. goes based on the assumption that we're going to just go practice. And I'm not in a practicum that I can do that.